Well, after how chaotic last week's European preliminaries were, are we going to be getting the exact same thing with this one? Welcome everyone to the 2024 Global Trophy, the 20th annual Global Trophy here with the Asian and Oceanian Preliminary League. I am Masterath and I'm joined once again by...
Sam Elliott 64, and yeah, that end of last week was just nuts, wasn't it? You had no idea which way it was going to fall, and eventually ended up with, an absolute scramble for that last spot. But they, it's nice to see that a team like Georgia managed to get it after so many years of kind of missing out, just about. But
Georgia are certainly going to be one of the most interesting outliers, I think, in the European qualifiers. They're going to be interesting to see how some of the bigger teams go against.
Absolutely, and a great win for Republic of Ireland as well. Unbeaten in the preliminaries. That's generally a good sign, but we know how tough the European bracket is.
Yeah, you really never know who they're going to be going up against, really. And similar thing here with the Asian League. It's, I'd say, probably the easiest of the four. With the least sort of star power, but still certainly some teams that you really do not want to be taking very lightly. Of course, two of them making it into the top 8 last season.
Yes, they did, and as a result of that, they don't have to pre-qualify this year, which is good to see. But we have got a couple of big names that normally you'd expect to be in the main competition by FIFA ranking, haven't made it this time. So interested to see how they deal with the pressures of the preliminary league in a second.
Indeed, so let us begin with our dud team. I can't believe they're actually a dud team here, finally, to be honest, but it's poor Fiji.
Fiji have been one of... they've been a mainstay of the main competition for a while. Okay, admittedly, as a dud there, generally finishing in 8th place in this league, but they're not even going to get the chance to do that this time. They are already here and having to accept their fate as the dud team. It's a bit of a shame, really. Yep,
way too low down in the FIFA rankings, unfortunately, for Fiji. A team that barely survived, though, is Vanuatu.
Yeah, Vanuatu. I think they have also been... have they been duds before themselves? I want to say they might have been.
They weren't last year, because it wasn't Papua New Guinea... Oh, no, was Papua New Guinea the dud last year? Who was the dud last year?
I'm going to get it up. Give me a second.
Cool.
It was...
Extra view for me.
No, I've actually got the spreadsheet up from last year. It was Vanuatu last year. Yeah, it was.
Oh, Vanuatu make it in this time round then. Wow.
Oh no, sorry, Fiji with the preliminary. No, is this year's? It might be this. Maybe this year's. I don't know.
Well, is the next team New Caledonia on your sheet?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I think this is as of last year the teams that got in, right? And then where is it? No, it is. No, this is last year's. No, I am right. Ignore me. I'm pretty sure it is. Anyway, move on.
Next up is New Caledonia, who are being, obviously, New Caledonia, not in this game. So they're being represented by the team that's not in the Global Trophy at all, but the next rank lower than them in the FIFA rankings, which is Tahiti.
Yeah, Tahiti. Okay, so on this spreadsheet, what I've got here, it's actually quite funny. So Fiji were the dud team, and the team below Fiji were Vanuatu and missed out.
Oh.
And the team... I know. So New Caledonia were actually re-represented by Vanuatu last time, and Tahiti were actually in full stop.
Yep, so Tahiti falling out this time around. Vanuatu get a chance.
But Tahiti will represent New Caledonia anyway, so it doesn't really matter after all.
And next up, a 4th team to be represented by the Oceania continent, Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, Papua New Guinea, another team which... It's a shame because, all these Oceania teams are not going to get that chance necessarily to go through and compete in the Asian section, the Asian Oceania section, I should say, to give it its, its full name. But, stranger things have happened. Maybe they'll sneak through.
Next up, first team to be representing Asia here, it's Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore, one of the kind of city-states of the kind of the South Asia area, kind of, with your Philippines and your Malaysias of the world. And yeah, well, we'll see the Philippines a little bit later on. But Singapore, one of the smaller nations in that area, and it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with the challenge of getting through the preliminary league.
I think last time they were in the preliminary league, they didn't do incredibly well.
No.
Last time around. But in comparison to a team that pretty much always qualifies from the preliminary league when they're in it, Afghanistan.
Yeah, they tend to win, and win heavily, don't they?
I think they held some previous records last year before Argentina came along, that is.
Yeah, because that's just what Argentina do. Afghanistan, one of the top dogs in the preliminary league area, and I'm pretty sure they have qualified for the Global Trophy finals on a number of occasions in the past as well.
Yep, and going to a team who've definitely done it recently, Yemen are here in this one.
Yeah, they qualified a few years ago, didn't they?
Yep.
Certainly since it's been on YouTube. Yeah, watch out for Yemen here. They probably will qualify. I don't know whether they'll be able to have enough firepower to win this preliminary league, but let's see.
Well, to a team that definitely won't, they're back, everyone. It's the Maldives.
The Maldives, yeah. A beautiful part of the world, though, so I'm told. I've never been. I'd love to go, though. It seems very pretty.
Yep, beautiful part of the world. Not good when it comes to football, though, even 20 years ago. We'll find out when they get absolutely whomped 8-0 at some point, because they're usually right at the bottom, aren't they, really?
Yeah, they're in the clash for the wooden spoon in this preliminary league, definitely.
Yeah. Next up, it is Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, Chinese Taipei, which once upon a time had the world's tallest building in it, I think. Or was that Taiwan? Is Chinese Taipei Taiwan? Or are they different countries in this game? Answer on a postcard.
Well, Taiwan's not in this game, so I'm just reminding myself like an old PlayStation 1 boxing game from about 20 years ago.
I'm going to Google this. I'm sure Chinese Taipei is Taiwan. But anyway, carry on.
Yep, next up it is... Be careful, you may get cancelled in China for that. Next up, Indonesia.
A former Asian section champion back in 2007. We do tend to have the odd, rogue team that do have to pre-qualify in these, preliminary leagues occasionally. And, Indonesia is one of those teams that have kind of slipped down the order and not necessarily one of the strongest teams.
Yep, I think one of the biggest outliers there is Malaysia that usually do, but obviously they finished in the top 8 in not only Asia last year, but also the top 8 in the trophy itself as well. So they don't have to be. They're not going to be like four-time preliminary league champions.
Yeah, exactly.
So next up we have. There we are. Next up, Hong Kong.
Yeah, another one of those Chinese sort of principalities, which I think was once owned by the UK, but I think has now been relinquished to independence.
Yeah, in 1997, we relinquished ownership of the of Hong Kong.
I have actually just checked, and apparently, so in most international events, from the Olympics to Little League World Series, Taiwan is referred to as Chinese Taipei, so it is Taiwan. So now you know.
It is a good thing, though, that we don't have, I don't think, any, to be honest, Chinese watches, to be fair.
Yes.
Well, that'd be cancellation for all of us. I think John Cena got cancelled in China, didn't he? Bing chilling.
President Xi has got a helicopter right outside my window right now. he's after us.
I don't know. Well, to be honest, if you had a helicopter outside where mine is, you'd have a tough time trying to get down it. The rotator blades would just be hitting all the power lines and roofs and stuff. And random pigeons. You'd never get through. It's great defense.
It is good defense.
Next up, it is another team that usually does quite well, actually, when it comes to these preliminaries. Turkmenistan.
Yeah, I think they have also been a qualifier from the Asian section in recent years, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Yes.
Certainly since it's been on YouTube, which it's been a good few years. It's been on YouTube now, but Turkmenistan, one to watch out for in this preliminary league.
Next up, the Philippines.
Yep. As I said, one of the kind of peninsular states in the south of Asia, along with Singapore, Indonesia as well, and Malaysia. So, interesting to see how the Philippines do. They do generally tend to qualify, and I think they have also in recent years qualified from this as well, from the Asian section as a whole. So watch out for Turkmenistan. Watch out for the Philippines.
Yep. Next up, they were actually the highest ranked team, I think, last time round in the preliminary league. They've dropped down to 3rd, but they're still probably going to finish in the bottom 5 like they did last time, representing Oceania, the Solomon Islands.
Yes, another one of those teams battling for the wooden spoon in the Asia Preliminary League. Keep an eye out for how the Solomon Islands do, but it's not going to be an easy one for them to get out, let's say that much.
And next up, with teams like Thailand, Myanmar, Tajikistan, Kuwait, the UAE, Malaysia, all actually fully qualifying already, teams have dropped into the preliminaries this season, into this one. First off, North Korea.
North Korea are generally quite a decent football team. They qualified for a World Cup a few years ago, if you remember back to that. Was it 2010?
The Germany one, I think, wasn't it?
Was it 06? No, I think it was
Germany,
South Africa.
No, it was the South African one, yeah. Yeah, because
they played Brazil,
didn't they?
They played Brazil. They did score a goal, though, so that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're generally quite a decent football team, but unfortunately they've slipped down into the preliminary leagues because of the teams that are quite low ranking having actually qualified, like in Myanmar and your Thailands and teams like that. So let's see how they get on here. They're going to have to get out of it. I'm sure they probably will do, but let's see.
And last but not least, the biggest surprise, I think, out of any team in this preliminary league. We're here in Oceania. You know it's not going to be Australia, but New Zealand are in the preliminaries this year.
Yeah, they are. I believe the football team is known as the All Whites, which has all sorts of strange connotations.
Yep.
New Zealand are going to have to pre-qualify here, and I don't know if they're the favourites to win this preliminary league. And, you know, it's not going to be easy for them to get out. I'm sure they will do, but it's going to be a big challenge for them to get through. So let's see how New Zealand deal with the preliminaries.
Yep, so if you count New Caledonia as being from Oceania, you could say, then that is 6 teams from Oceania, but one of them is a dud. So, yeah, 10 from Asia, 6 from Oceania. Let's begin. It's going to be interesting to see how North Korea and New Zealand do, I think. Because I don't think we've seen them in a preliminary league at all.
No, and they are definitely big fish in this league, aren't they? As Afghanistan, they're going to get 3 points right off the bat against Fiji. Not like they need it. But they are going to be big fish in this league, I think. They're going to be, you know, challenging Afghanistan, I think, for the title. I think they're 2 of the bigger teams here. Let's see. I mean, it's so strange because obviously Indonesia as well, you've got to favour them. Philippines are fairly decent. Turkmenistan generally do well in these preliminary leagues as well. And RJ Fernandez, again.
Awesome.
Oh my. What an absolute cockwomble this guy is.
The best thing is I'm using, obviously, your audio that comes through, and I think you cut out halfway through this, so all I got was one absolute ockwomble.
Well, there you go.
There you go. So there you go. RJ Fernandez is now an ockwomble. Pass it on.
Oh, sorry, you didn't get the C, the cockwomble.
No, I just got I got it again. I just got ockwomble. It's like you've got your own homemade censoring system on your mic, Sam.
Yep, I try my best to. Keeping it PG for all the kids out there, you know?
Screech is a potential prick, though. So,
yes, true.
Alright, so, Hong Kong versus Indonesia. This can be interesting here.
A first proper game of the preliminary league is Hong Kong versus Indonesia.
Well, that's a start and a half.
Indonesia. Yeah, there you go.
Right, Papua New Guinea versus the Maldives. Papua New Guinea get a shot here, so you never know really what's going to happen here. Maldives usually don't do very well in these.
This is one for the purists, isn't it? Papua New Guinea versus the Maldives.
It is 3-0 Papua New Guinea, so a good start, I'd say, for, for Oceania, I guess.
Absolutely, and then we've got a clash between Philippines and Singapore, 2 of those South Island nations. Sorry, South Asia nations even. Yep,
Philippines usually do quite well here. They have 7-0.
And it will be followed up by Tahiti and Taipei. Tahiti, of course, representing New Caledonia. Taipei, of course, representing themselves. Let's see how they get on here.
Chinese Taipei tipped to be in the top 8 here. That's not a good start for them. That's a 2-0 win for New Caledonia, being represented by Tahiti.
Good result for Tahiti. And next up is Vanuatu and Turkmenistan. Vanuatu, of course, just barely scraping in. Turkmenistan generally do quite well in these, so let's see how they get on against Vanuatu.
Yep, former Global Trophy finalists recently. 8-0, well, there you go. That's about right for Turkmenistan.
It's kind of par for the course so far. Solomon Islands will take on Yemen in a clash of, well, you'd probably favour Yemen here, but it's not going to be an easy one for them.
Certainly would. Solomon Islands high ranked in the FIFA rankings, considering they're not very good here. 5-0 for Yemen. Good for Yemen. And now we have the big clash between the two new teams in this preliminary league.
Yep, North Korea and New Zealand, two teams that you wouldn't normally expect to see in the Asian section. Let's see how they deal with each other.
2-0 win for New Zealand. They're off to a good start.
They are indeed. That's the end of game week 1. On to the second round of fixtures where we see Afghanistan take on Hong Kong.
Yep, Afghanistan kicked off with a win. Hong Kong lost their first match. 9-0 Afghanistan. Well, there you go.
They keep upping the ante, don't they? Who will get the biggest win in this preliminary league? It's currently Afghanistan with that 9-0 win. Indonesia are going to pick up their own 3-0 win, taking on Fiji.
Yep, at the moment, and I've noticed this at the moment, in every single match so far, only one of the two teams have scored.
Yes, and as well as that, there have been no draws.
Yep, and there have been no draws so far, so a complete opposite of what the America's preliminaries was last year. Where it was all the draws and all the fun. This one, it could very well just be wins and losses.
Yeah, we might end up with a top 8 very quickly. Let's say that much, and then it would just be between those teams who qualifies and who doesn't.
You never know. Well, it's a good start for New Zealand. It's not a good start for North Korea, though.
No, they're probably the two of the teams that are kind of like have played another big team so far. Let's say that much, and it's not going to be an easy recovery path for North Korea, but you can probably expect them to recover fairly well.
You certainly should do on that one, yes. Philippines next up. They won their first match 7-0. Maldives, they lost their first match 3-0.
Yeah, lost to Papua New Guinea. I'm sure they'll probably lose to the Philippines here as well.
It is 5-0. Philippines up to second place. Still, only one team has scored in each match.
I think that might change here, though. Papua New Guinea and Singapore, two fairly evenly ranked teams. When it comes to the FIFA rankings, at least.
Yeah, Papua New Guinea currently in 6th place. Singapore lost 7-0 in their opener.
Let's see if they can recover here against Papua New Guinea.
1-0, so nope. It stays the same for the moment.
Absolutely, yes it does. Turkmenistan with a big 8-0 win in their first fixture. They take on Tahiti, who won their first match 2-0. Let's see how they deal with each other.
This is certainly where things can change. It doesn't, it's 3-0.
Good result for Turkmenistan there. Vanuatu and Chinese Taipei losing their first match to Tahiti, of course. Vanuatu, I can't remember what the score was for them, was it?
Yep, they lost 8-0.
Good.
In their opener.
Yep, they did.
0-0, there's our first draw, but still.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that really benefits, really, out of those two. I'm really not sure. Yemen will take on North Korea next up.
Okay, so Yemen who won 5-0 in their opener. North Korea lost 2-0 in their opener. It's going to be a very telling match for North Korea. See how well they do in this preliminary. Against a team that usually does well.
Lost to New Zealand. Yeah, lost to New Zealand in their first match.
1-0 Yemen! That's not good for North Korea.
No, I think that's a telling sign of things that could be to come for North Korea. Maybe, but they won't have it all their own way. New Zealand take on the Solomon Islands in an all-Oceania clash.
7-0 New Zealand. Bigger start for them. 7-0 and what, they're 4th?
I know, the goal difference is absolutely crazy in this so far.
Yep, we're going into fixture 3 now. Indonesia versus Afghanistan.
Top of the table clash, two teams that have won heavily so far. One of those is going to have to change for one of these teams.
2-1 Afghanistan. Finally the record changes and Afghanistan letting a goal, but they currently have 9 points.
They do, and a loss for Indonesia moves them down to 5th. Next up, it is Hong Kong getting their 3 points over Fiji, who the dud team are currently in 12th. We can see them on the first page.
Yeah, that's sort of how nuts some of the matches have been here.
Yeah. Well, Hong Kong are going to move above them. So far, they have been the whipping boys. They are currently bottom.
Yep, but
there's Axie.
This will keep them going for the moment. I wonder if we'll have a team like Malaysia did last preliminary league, where they got over 100, over a plus 100 goal difference.
I think it's definitely likely, considering the amount of sort of Oceania teams that are here. I feel like it's kind of an inevitability that'll happen.
Yep. I think at the moment, Papua New Guinea they've got off to a good start of Papua New Guinea so far as well. So good for them.
Yep, absolutely. Will we see more than one Oceania team go through? You'd probably favour New Zealand to go through here, but will there be a second to join Australia later on?
Certainly will. It's a bottom clash now between the Maldives and Singapore.
Yep, one for the purists.
Yep, both teams lost 2 matches in a row. Both teams haven't scored a goal. Both teams have led in 8. It's still the case, only they now both have an extra point.
It's the board draw between the Maldives and Singapore. Next up, it is Papua New Guinea and the Philippines. Philippines up in 2nd place. Papua New Guinea also on 6 points, level on points, but down in 7th with a much inferior goal difference.
Yep, neither have let in a goal as of yet. That's still the case. I think Papua New Guinea will take that.
They absolutely will. They move up to 3rd place for now. Next up is Tahiti and Vanuatu. Tahiti, of course, representing New Caledonia.
Yep, Tahiti currently in 8th place, Vanuatu in 12th. It is a win for Tahiti, so they stay in 8th, but two for them so far. 2 wins for them. Good start for New Caledonia.
Absolutely, and of those wins as well, neither of them were the dud teams. That's really good for Tahiti.
Yep, Taipei currently in 10th place, take on Turkmenistan in 4th.
Yep, 1 point currently on the board for Taipei. Can they change that against Turkmenistan?
Nope, 4-1 win for Turkmenistan. They go top.
They do on goal difference by 1 goal. Next up it is Yemen and New Zealand.
Big clash here between 2 teams who are yet to put a foot wrong. 1-1 draw. Good draw there, I think, for Yemen.
And that brings the end of game week number 3. We have 2...
We still have one more. It's a bottom clash.
You can see why I forgot it, can't you, really?
Of course, yes.
It's North Korea versus the Solomon Islands. Solomon Islands are currently below the dud team, so that says quite a lot about how their run's going.
Yep, will that change here? It is a 2-0 win for North Korea. They are off. They are off with some points, finally. Oh, no.
It moves up to 9th place. Oh, this could be a potentially devastating game. Maldives against Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, one of the front runners here. Maldives only got a point so far. 9-0. That's a tie.
It is a tie, but with their own record for biggest wins so far. And Papua New Guinea are going to get another win here as they take on the dud team Fiji. So that's going to be 3 wins for Papua New Guinea.
Yep, that's 10 points altogether for Papua New Guinea in the first 4 games.
They will have this is the problem with all these lower ranked teams. They all have to make sure that they're beating each other. And so far, Papua New Guinea has done that. They've beaten all the teams in and around them.
Yeah, I'd say Papua New Guinea and Tahiti have been able to do that very well so far, but they haven't gone up against any of the real big teams. I mean, okay, Papua New Guinea have once.
Yep.
Against, what was it, the Philippines?
Well, they did get a point against the Philippines, didn't they?
Yeah.
Papua New Guinea. So
they have played one of the bigger teams, but there's still, Afghanistan, New Zealand still in there, Yemen, Turkmenistan. It's not going to be easy from here on in, but it's a very good start for Papua New Guinea. Very good start.
Yeah, it really is. Philippines, we mentioned them, one of the bigger teams who have kind of dropped some points against one of the minnows. They take on Hong Kong next up, who are currently having a goal difference of -12.
Yep, currently in 10th place, but that changes. Still in 10th, but 6-0 win for the Philippines. They go 2nd for now.
The interesting thing about Hong Kong, of course, is their only points have come from the dud teams. So will they start to slip down the order from 10th? It might take them a while to do so.
Certainly could on that one. Singapore, they've got Indonesia next. Indonesia currently in that lovely 7th place bubble. Singapore currently in 12th.
Yep. So far, so good for Indonesia. I think a win here will do them the world of good as well.
Certainly will put them on 9 points. Oh, well, there goes your record. It's 12-0 Indonesia.
And they move up into 4th place as a result. Next up is Tahiti and Yemen. 7th and 8th taking each other on here. 2 teams which have had a decent start.
Yep, you'd expect Yemen to win this one, but it's not. It's a draw between the 2.
I think Tahiti will take that. Absolutely. All day, every day.
Yep, Yemen, 2 wins, 2 draws so far, so still unbeaten, but they need to try and start converting draws into wins here.
They really do. Chinese Taipei will take on the Solomon Islands in one of the minnows clashes. Solomon Islands still below Fiji. Will that change after this fixture?
Yep, Taipei only on 1 point so far. 2-1 win for Taipei. They go up to 9th. Solomon Islands, they've scored a goal, but they are still below the dud.
They are still below the dud for now. Next up is Turkmenistan and North Korea. North Korea in 10th place with a win to their name. Turkmenistan up in 5th place so far with a perfect record.
Yep, haven't lost a single point to Turkmenistan, and that stays the same. 2-0, another loss for North Korea.
Not a good start for North Korea. They've slipped down to 10th place.
New Zealand currently in 7th place, haven't been beaten yet versus Vanuatu, who haven't scored a goal or won a game yet.
But they have got a point on the board, and that's important for Vanuatu.
5-0 win New Zealand. They move up to 4th.
Absolutely. Oh dear. Now, is this where the bubble bursts for poor old Papua New Guinea as we move into game week 5?
Yep, Papua New
Afghanistan.
Guinea.
Yep, go on.
Yep, Papua New Guinea yet to let in a goal yet.
Let's lose either, which is a great start for them, but Afghanistan are one of the very best teams in this league.
I feel like both could go right here. It's only 1-0, but it is a win for Afghanistan.
I think Papua New Guinea will be absolutely delighted with a 1-0 loss, won't they?
Very good performance from Papua New Guinea there. Maldives are about to go into the top 10 with a win over Fiji.
Things we never thought we'd say.
Maldives in the top 10, folks. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, take your screenshots. Hang it in the Louvre.
Oh, God, it's...
Zingaro. Laser Zingaro.
It's Len Zingaro.
It's also Len, yeah.
It's the Rabsi Nesbit of Spain. Oh, God. I wonder what the comments are like on that video.
I dread to think.
Well, there you go. Bloody hell, have you two both lost your heads? And the answer is yes. It's probably still more enjoyable than if we didn't, though, to be fair.
True that. Well, that's a win for the Maldives. That's a win.
Yep, screenshot that.
For the Maldives. Look at 3-0. Wow. Unbelievable. Seeds.
Top 10 for the Maldives. They're in with a shout. Hong Kong, a team that's probably not in with a shout, against Singapore, another team that's not really in with a shout right now. But then we know this from last year.
Yep, two teams in their kind of minnows clash. Let's see how they deal with each other.
Draw. Of course it is. Hong Kong up to 11th, so Maldives have held them off.
Stunning performance, really. Look at North Korea down in 12th. That's a shambles of a performance from them so far.
Yep. Philippines now. They are currently in 3rd place. They'll take on Indonesia in 6th so far.
Yep, two teams that can kind of progress away from that kind of scary 8th place.
Yep, Philippines unbeaten. Yet to let in a goal. The only team to not let in a goal as of yet. They still haven't. It's a draw between the two.
I think Indonesia will probably take that, especially considering it was an away fixture for them. So, good effort from them.
Yep. Solomon Islands now, who are still... Oh, no, they're not below the dud anymore. They may be after this. They've got Tahiti, representing New Caledonia, who are currently in 8th place.
A win will lift them above Yemen briefly. Yemen have the chance to change that, of course.
It is a win. 1-0 Tahiti. Very good there.
And that puts Solomon Islands back below the dud.
Below the dud again, right. Yemen versus Chinese Taipei. Taipei currently in 9th.
Yeah, they need to kind of start bridging that gap again, because if they lose this match, they are going to be 6 points behind 8th place, and we're only 5 games in.
We could be seeing our top 8 pretty much there immediately. 2-1. There's 6 points between 8th and 9th.
Unbelievable. And look at that, North Korea are also in that group, so they need to get a motor on quick.
Yep, Turkmenistan versus New Zealand next.
So far, a perfect record for Turkmenistan. New Zealand unbeaten, but have drawn a game.
Yep, both teams only let in 1 goal so far. 3-2 win for New Zealand.
Good result for New Zealand, puts them 2nd in the table, but we now have clear daylight at the top, and Afghanistan lead the way.
Yep, Vanuatu now will take on North Korea, who are currently in 12th.
North Korea, they need to get going, otherwise they're going to be left behind by that top 8 group.
4-0 win North Korea, that's exactly what was needed.
Yeah, and that brings the gap down to 4 between them and well, all the teams above them, really.
Yep, we go into fixture 6 with Afghanistan versus Philippines. A very top of the table clash here, only 4 points difference between the two.
Yep, two teams that are currently unbeaten. Philippines have drawn 2, a perfect 5 out of 5 wins for Afghanistan.
Yep, Philippines still yet to let in a goal as well. They have now, but they're both still unbeaten, 1-1.
So we're not going to get the perfect 15 wins for Afghanistan this time around. Singapore are about to pick up their first win, I think, against Fiji.
Yep, it's going to put them on 5 points so far, so above the Maldives. Boo hiss.
Finally. Finally some good fucking food. So far then, we've kind of got a little bit of a gap between the top teams and the rest of the straggling pack, Chris. Who's been your biggest surprise so far?
Papua New Guinea. I mean,
yeah?
they have performed incredibly well so far. And fully deserving to be in that top 8, and the more they stay in that top 8, you know, and the more they can keep snatching points from the bigger teams like the Philippines and Yemen and stuff like that, then they could certainly see themselves being, one of like maybe 3, maybe even 4 Oceania teams that actually make it through this.
Yep, absolutely. I think we are going to see a couple going there. Certainly New Zealand, I think, are pretty much guaranteed to go through. But Papua New Guinea, it'd be nice to see them progress, wouldn't it?
Yep. Hong Kong have got the Maldives.
Jesus Christ, this is a shambles of a match, isn't it?
What? It's a shithouse match. It's a win for Maldives, 3-0. They're up to 9th.
Unbelievable. Maldives are now the closest team to the.
Papua New Guinea versus Indonesia. Very interesting that won this one.
Yeah, I think Indonesia are probably the favourites, but a Papua New Guinea win here really will throw the cat amongst the pigeons.
A draw would also be very good for Papua New Guinea, I think, as well. It is 4-0 Indonesia. Papua New Guinea lose their second match.
That's not a good sign for them, especially as now it's a chance for either North Korea or Tahiti to make up some ground on them. A Tahiti win here lifts them up into 4th place, which is nuts.
Yep.
North Korea, however, will not go above anyone apart from the Maldives, but they won't trouble the top 8, but they will be 1 point behind.
Yep, they will go above the Maldives. The fact that teams are below them is a shocker enough as it is. It's a win for Tahiti! Oh, no!
That is an absolutely awful, awful result for North Korea. Tahiti move up to 4th place.
Very good for them. Taipei, Chinese Taipei, 12th place. New Zealand, 3rd right now. 13th. I was looking at their points.
A win from New Zealand will put them level on points with top of the table Afghanistan.
Yep.
Taipei.
Yep. And Afghanistan are currently in 16th place according to my bloody map.
And then Taipei. Well, a Taipei win, it will lift them level with the Maldives above 1 goal difference.
If they lose, they'll stay in 4th. They stay in 4th. New Zealand into 16th place, which is apparently better. Thank you, brain. 16 for New Zealand there. So, yep, into the top 2.
Yep, good result for New Zealand. Yemen and Turkmenistan currently in 7th and 6th places, respectively.
Yep, big match to try and stay in that top 8.
Yep, absolutely, between the two of them.
It is Turkmenistan, a 2-0 win over Yemen.
Good result. And, this is one fun for the cultured individuals out there. It's Solomon Islands versus Vanuatu.
No wins yet. 1 goal scored between the two sides. Vanuatu win, 2-0.
But the Solomon Islands survive going below the dud after fixture 6. That's a good effort from them.
Because of their 1 goal.
Yep. They scored 1.
Yep. Afghanistan versus Singapore. Next up, Afghanistan. Top of the table right now. Singapore in 11th place. 11 points behind their opponents here.
Yeah, I've got a fear this is going to be double figures.
7-1.
Singapore scored a goal. I'm surprised.
They did, and, Afghanistan, I think they'll take that regardless. They know they're not going to get the perfect run here, but it's going to be interesting between sort of the battle we've got going between then New Zealand and Turkmenistan, really.
I think the Philippines are also going to join into that match because obviously they're going to play Fiji now, and they are still unbeaten after 7 fixtures as well, which is very impressive.
Yeah, with a very good goal difference as well. They've only let in 1 goal so far.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing very, very well. But, let's see.
So that's good. That's going to put them into some very interesting contention there. I'm not sure how many of the big teams actually played against each other as of yet. We still have a couple of teams that are unbeaten so far. And we're almost halfway through the fixtures.
Yep, I think it's that kind of group that kind of broke away at the start has compressed a little bit. It's not like as much as I thought it was going to be, but I still got a feeling that the top 8 we've kind of got now is just going to be the top 8 that go through. It's just who finishes where and who gets that dud spot. Yep,
unless anyone can break in. And really, if you're expecting any team to break in, it would be probably North Korea, because, Maldives are the 9th one.
And Maldives have, of course, already played their dud match as well.
Exactly. Papua New Guinea have got Hong Kong next up, so good chance for Papua New Guinea to get back onto winning ways.
Yeah, a win for them here can lift them, well, with a massive win, can lift them into 5th, but I think more realistically into 6th place.
Yep, it would need to break the record. We're going to do this again. It'll need to break the record at 22. It's 2. It's happened again. Still a win for Papua New Guinea. They'll take that. That's another win for them on the board.
Yep, 4 wins out of 7. That's a decent record for them.
Yep. Indonesia, they've got the Maldives. If Maldives can shithouse their way around a draw here.
Scenes. Absolute limbs.
Absolute scenes. It's 11-0 Indonesia. Big win. Huge win.
Yeah, lifts them up into second in the table for now. New Zealand can overtake them again with a victory over Tahiti.
Yep. A big win for New Zealand. And not a record win. Could set them even above Afghanistan at the top. It's 1. That's even worse. Still, 19 points for New Zealand. Good for them. Tahiti, they really let Papua New Guinea go here, and they could let Yemen come in as well.
If they're not careful, yep, Taipei will take on North Korea. North Korea need to get cracking and fast here, because if they don't win this, they're going to be 5 points behind, having played a game more.
Yep, and Chinese Taipei currently 7 behind the top 8. 5-0 win North Korea. That's better.
That is much better, and they're now only 2 points behind Yemen, who do have a game in hand, admittedly, but it's not, a guaranteed victory. They will play Vanuatu, so basically it is a guaranteed victory, but you never know. Stranger things have happened.
You say that? Remember when, who was it that fought Montserrat and lost, or drew, or something like that? In the,
I can't remember.
In the in the American qualifiers, that was funny. Was it like Dominica or something?
It might have been.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Or it was St. Lucia, something like that. But yeah, Turkmenistan take on the Solomon Islands next. Turkmenistan currently in 5th place. Solomon Islands below the dud for now. Oh no.
They're above the dud for now, but this could change with a big win for Turkmenistan.
Yep. 6-1.
Yep. And back below the dud you go, Solomon Islands.
Yep. Yemen last up. They got Vanuatu. A win for Yemen puts them into the top 6 actually.
Yep, we'll put them a point behind the Philippines, but crucially above Tahiti and Papua New Guinea for now.
Yep, and above that 8th place dud spot. 2-0 win, they'll take it.
They absolutely will take it. On to the second half of the competition then, and Afghanistan, so far unbeaten, takes on Tahiti, who are currently in that dreaded 8th spot.
Yep, Tahiti would love at least a draw here against probably one of the favourites in this preliminary league. They don't get it though, 4-0. Big win there for Afghanistan.
Yep, and a big win as well for Chinese Taipei, who lift themselves above the Maldives into 10th place with a win over at Team Fiji.
Well, at least Maldives are still in the top 12, so at least we can take that.
Yeah, we can still see them on the screen. It's great.
Yeah.
This is what we all want to see.
Waiting for them to absolutely maul New Zealand.
Yeah,
like win 24-0. Record broken. That's it. We delete the game.
We've never got, the record is still 19. We haven't got to 20 yet, have we? So it'd be quite something to get to 20 first.
I don't even think we've had an equal to 19-0 in quite a while either.
No, I think, when was the last time we had 19? Was it 2013 was the last time?
Yeah. So, yeah, over a decade ago. And we had 2 19-0s in that tournament.
Yeah, we had Morocco, Somalia, and Iran versus the Cook Islands.
Yeah. Iran versus the Cook Islands, was that the, that was the Global Trophy Finals, wasn't it? Was that the Global Trophy Finals? I think so.
Might have been.
Turkmenistan, they got Hong Kong. Well,
good luck, Hong Kong.
Yep. 11-0.
But also, interestingly for Turkmenistan, their goal difference is now level with Afghanistan, and they've scored more goals. So that could be crucial later on if Afghanistan do slip up.
Could be good later. Indonesia currently in 4th place. They could start making some ground on that top 3 there if they can beat Vanuatu, who are currently in 13th.
They are currently above Hong Kong, though, on goal difference. So that's important for them.
Yeah, that might change with the big win here, though. Needed to be bigger than that, but 7-1, Indonesia will certainly take that.
Yep, moves them up into 3rd place. They've scored the most goals in this competition and conceded some of the least as well.
Next up, it's... poor Maldives. They got Yemen, who are currently in 6th place.
Good win for Yemen here. We'll lift them above Philippines for now, and we'll take them, again, a little bit further away from that 8th spot.
Certainly would. 5-0, they'll take it. Up into 5th they go.
Yep, and what this also means as well is they're putting distance between themselves and North Korea, because I think North Korea will come back. It's just it's going to take them some time.
Yep. Papua New Guinea looking to keep their run going. They do have the Solomon Islands, who are back above the dud for now.
Will it last, though? Papua New Guinea need to beat them to keep their campaign on track.
It's a 1-1 draw, so there goes... Fiji will stay in 16th now. That's really bad for Papua New Guinea there.
That is absolutely horrendous for Papua New Guinea. They are currently above Tahiti, though, on points, but
North Korea could really put a cat in here.
They really could, but they've got it's a tough match against the Philippines, though. The Philippines are currently in 6th place, Korea in 9th.
Philippines unbeaten, only led in a single goal, lowest in this league. 3-0 Philippines!
That's not great for North Korea. They are 4 points behind with 7 to play, but I mean, they're running out of time. They do need to kind of make up ground faster.
If you look at it, they are 2 behind, or 2 ahead of Maldives, so that's all you need to know, really.
Yep.
New Zealand looking to get into that top 2 again if they can beat Singapore.
You'd probably favour them to do so.
Certainly would. 10-0, big win there for New Zealand.
Yeah, and their goal difference is going to get a big boost from that as well. As we move on to game week number 9, Taipei in 10th place have kind of slipped out of that top 8 and falling away fast as they take on the leaders, Afghanistan.
Yep, current leaders looking to try and keep that goal difference high. Only 3-0 gives New Zealand a chance here.
Speaking of getting chances, Tahiti getting a big shot in the arm here as they take on Fiji for the dud spot. And, well, I mean, Tahiti is going to push themselves up a little bit. They're going to go above another team as well. Papua New Guinea haven't been perfect in the last couple of games, have they? So
no, that draw against the Solomon Islands is really that could have potentially affected Papua New Guinea on that one. Obviously, Tahiti being represented or representing New Caledonia, so in that top 8 there. But it's going to be interesting to see, one, if North Korea can break into that top 8 and make it a top 9. Or what happens with that top 8 in the end? I mean, teams like Philippines, Turkmenistan, New Zealand, and Afghanistan, I think are looking quite good, and Indonesia are looking quite good. I think it's going to be between that Yemen, Tahiti, Papua New Guinea, North Korea section.
Yeah, I agree. I think Yemen downwards. I think Philippines will be okay. I think Yemen downwards is where the fight is, really.
Yep, definitely. Hong Kong now will take on Vanuatu, so bit of a nothing match here.
Yep, but both of these teams have kind of struggled so far. Let's see if one of them can get a little bit of a march on the other.
Hong Kong, though, do win. That's 3-1 win for them, so they're up into the top 12.
And they get themselves a win that wasn't against the dud team. That's big for them.
Yep, Turkmenistan and Indonesia, 2 teams at the top here. Close to the top.
Yeah, a win for either of them kind of lifts them pretty much to safety, I think.
Yeah, at least for the moment, it'll put a good amount of wins between them and the chasing pack. It is a win for Indonesia, up into 2nd for now at least.
Turkmenistan dropped down to 4th on 21 points. Indonesia into 2nd. Solomon Islands against the Maldives.
The Maldives,
I mean, a win here does lift them up to 9th, you know.
It does.
I'm just saying.
It does. Not there, though. It's a win for the Solomon Islands. They've woken up, sort of.
They've gone above Vanuatu. Brilliant result for Solomon Islands. They might not even finish 2nd to last in this competition.
Yep. Papua New Guinea currently in 8th place. They've got Yemen in 6th.
This is big for both of these teams. A win for Yemen gives them a little bit of daylight, doesn't it?
Yep. A win for Papua New Guinea really puts Yemen and Tahiti in some problems. 1-0 win for Yemen. That is not good for Papua New Guinea.
No, it's not. It is really not at all. Philippines and New Zealand next up. A win for New Zealand. A big win for New Zealand puts them top, but more likely a win will put them into 2nd. Philippines, a win for them lifts them above New Zealand and Indonesia into 2nd place.
Yep, both teams unbeaten. Not anymore. New Zealand get the 1-0 win. Philippines now only led in 2 goals, but they have lost, 9 points? From 2 goals.
They've dropped a lot of points. Yeah, they've dropped a lot of points, haven't they? A couple of board draws in there as well won't have helped them. Singapore against North Korea. Singapore out of it, I think, pretty much at this point. They're down in 13th place on 5 points. A win for North Korea, though, puts them within striking range of Papua New Guinea in 8th.
Certainly does. Only 2 behind if they can get a win here. It's a draw between the 2. That is terrible for North Korea.
It is. That surprises me. I thought North Korea would be sailing through at this point, but they're not. They're in 9th place. They might not even get in.
Yep, it's the battle of the stands now, and no, not that what used to be called fandoms. Afghanistan versus Turkmenistan, 1st versus 4th.
Favourites are definitely Afghanistan, but Turkmenistan could prove a surprise here.
4-point difference between the 2 sides. It is a win for Afghanistan, 2-1.
Not a big win, Vanuatu now getting their 3 points against Fiji in basically a nothing match, but just put Vanuatu a little bit higher up the table.
Put Solomon Islands back in 15th again.
It's the wooden spoon clash is unbelievable. It's what you want to see.
It was the same as last year, wasn't it? The wooden spoon clash was the most important section because the top 8 was done so quickly.
But this year, it's not the case. North Korea still have a fight on their hands to get back into that top 8.
Yep.
Papua New Guinea can still recover. It's all to play for.
It certainly is on that. The top 8 could be very interesting. Probably more interesting than the wooden spoon, but you never know. Seeing the wooden spoon is just fun anyway.
Absolutely. Things you love to see.
Things you love to see. This
is content right now.
Alright, so we're into fixture 10 here, so, we're getting into those last couple of matches now. Tahiti, currently in 7th place. They've got Hong Kong, so a big chance for Tahiti to start trying to pull away from Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, a win here will put them, crucially, 9 points clear of North Korea as well, with only 5 games left.
Definitely. Win for Tahiti, 3-0. So New Caledonia cruising through at the moment.
Yep, they're slowly going up the table. Next up is Indonesia in 3rd place, taking on Chinese Taipei, down in 10th.
Win for Indonesia puts them 2nd for now. It is a win, 4-0 for Indonesia. They've broken 50 goals for them.
Well done to Indonesia. Probably not going to get to that 100 goals for, which we had in previous years from big teams in the preliminary league in Asia. North Korea now against the Maldives.
Desperate for a win here, North Korea. 1-0 win. They barely edged through. Now it's only 1 point difference for the moment.
Yeah, between them and Papua New Guinea, who are next up, taking on the team in 3rd place. Unbeaten so far are New Zealand.
Yep, 8 off top are New Zealand. 2-0 win for New Zealand. They are now 6 goals off the top spot there, but they are currently on level points.
Yeah, and 1 more point will put them through for sure. Yemen and the Philippines next up. A win for Yemen here will put them into 4th place, and it will put the Philippines, who have kind of slipped down the table, I hadn't really noticed, down to 7th, in big trouble.
Certainly win on that one. It is a win for the Philippines.
Good result for the Philippines, moves them into 5th place, level on points with Turkmenistan as we reach the end of game week 10, with the Solomon Islands and Singapore taking each other on.
Bit of a nothing match here. It is a win for Singapore, 3-2. They move up to 10th place.
Look at that, they've got 4 teams on 7. Look at that.
Look at that. Maldives, what the hell's happened, mate?
Slipped down the order. Afghanistan against Vanuatu. How many are they going to score? Upwards of 10 or below 10, Chris?
I'm going to go above 10. Why not?
I think below.
Oh, 8-1. Close.
There you go.
Close.
And a goal for Vanuatu as well. Look at that. Love to see it.
Yep. Turkmenistan. Not going to move spaces, but it is going to move them closer or further away from that 8th place spot they really don't want to be in as they get their 3 points from Fiji here.
Yep, and doing the maths, I think we've got a confirmed qualification here for Afghanistan as well.
Certainly could do on that one with that performance from Afghanistan, but then, to be honest,
was never in doubt.
Yeah, was there any doubt for Afghanistan? They always make it through in this preliminary. They always do incredibly well, so that's not incredibly surprising, I'd say, to see Afghanistan through here.
No, I completely agree. It'd be nice to see them actually progress from the Asian section 1 year, wouldn't it? And not have to do this every time.
It would be very interesting. That's probably why it was nice to see Malaysia in the top 8 last year, because, well, they usually win these.
Yep, they do. So just to confirm, they are indeed through. They are 17 points clear with 15 on the table. So well done to Afghanistan. You have already qualified.
Yep. Taipei really need to start making a move. They do have Hong Kong, who are the same points as them. So essentially the winner of this match still in with a chance, I guess.
Yep, a win for either team moves them up to 10th. A draw, it's kind of looking pretty ropey, isn't it?
Yep, certainly is. Win for Hong Kong. They're up in a 10th place.
3 wins in the preliminary league for Hong Kong.
Good for them. Indonesia now have Tahiti.
Yeah, a win here for Indonesia. Again, I think pretty much qualifies them, I think.
Pretty much, unless Papua New Guinea can get some results here. It is 4-1 Indonesia. They move up to 2nd for now, as New Zealand have got poor Maldives.
Is it going to be above or below 10?
Above. Screw it.
I'm saying below.
Fun.
I'm going to go below.
Oh, there you go. 11-0.
And look at that. The goal difference between the two as well is now only 2 different.
Yep. Indonesia have scored more goals than the 2 teams at the top there, but they've got the points so far.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh!
This is a crunch match.
It is.
A big crunch match.
Winner really in with a shout. Loser. It's going to take snookers. It's going to take a lot to try and get them back in it. Between Papua New Guinea and North Korea. It's a draw between the two. That is terrible for both.
It is, because it now means that it's a 4-point gap to 7th place. So really, it's starting to get to the stage now where Papua New Guinea or North Korea is going to be the dud team.
Yep. That could very well happen. Solomon Islands have got the Philippines. Philippines, a win for them, a big win for them, puts them into that top 4.
Yep. Can they increase that gap? I wonder.
4-0, so they don't go 4th, but they are joint with 4th at the moment with 24 points.
They are indeed. And next up it is Singapore and Yemen. Singapore, a win for Singapore puts them above Hong Kong and within touching distance of North Korea and Papua New Guinea. But a win for Yemen almost guarantees them qualification.
Certainly does. Win for Yemen, 2-0. So essentially with 4 fixtures left, the teams who have qualified, at the moment only Afghanistan and New Zealand, but we could be seeing more later on, especially Indonesia. But for fixture 12 we have Yemen, after beating Singapore, now have the league leaders, Afghanistan.
I do actually think as well, just to clarify, I think Indonesia have qualified because they're 13 points clear of Papua New Guinea in 8th with 12 on the table.
Yep.
So Indonesia have also qualified.
Yep, so they have qualified. Turkmenistan and Philippines, they're going to stay without a qualification for the moment and probably for the next fixture as well. Actually, no, the next fixture they may qualify. Not this one.
Yep.
Since there's only 9 points between them and 8th place. But yeah, so top 3 qualified. So Afghanistan versus Yemen next. Yemen not qualified as of yet, though. They could certainly do with getting at least a point, maybe, off Afghanistan.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. A win here would lift them up into 4th place, and points would keep them where they are, but I think a little bit closer to qualification. Afghanistan, of course, unbeaten, and well.
Nice result for Yemen there.
They'll take that, 100%.
Yep, Solomon Islands gonna finally get... Oh, they're on 7th now as well. Solomon Islands also on 7 points now. Getting the result they get with the buyout with Fiji, so... You know,
that lift them off of 15th place, though. That's the real question. Oh, it's RJ Fernandez. Of course it is.
He's come back for a second part of the preliminary league. Don't we usually get like different refs?
Normally, different ref per game, isn't it? Normally.
Yeah, we've had the Faroe Islands conspirator twice now. He's taken over. He'll take our jobs soon.
Absolutely. If you suddenly hear the commentary cut, then that's how you know.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, you could bloody have mine. We don't get paid for it anyway. You bloody have mine.
So...
Hong Kong, North Korea... Ooh. Okay.
This is it now for North Korea, isn't it? If they don't win this, then they are in big trouble.
Same for Hong Kong here.
Yep. Crunch time.
Crunch time for both teams. Win for North Korea.
It lifts them into 8th place for now, and within touching distance of Tahiti, who are in 7th.
Yep, New Zealand and Indonesia. Battle of 2 teams that have already qualified, but New Zealand could go first with a win. Indonesia could really put themselves in that top 3 with an in-championship contention with a win over New Zealand.
Yeah, a win for New Zealand will give them a brilliant chance at the title, but it's not over yet for either team.
Win for New Zealand. They moved 2 up over Afghanistan. They've held off, and now they're reaping the rewards.
They have indeed. They're into the top spots of the preliminary league. Maldives versus Tahiti. A big opportunity here for Tahiti to put some distance between themselves and North Korea.
Certainly is for Tahiti. Win 3-0.
Crucial win. And now it's Taipei versus Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea need to stop the wrath. They need to win here against Chinese Taipei.
Yep, Taipei only won twice. One against the Dud, I believe. It's a draw. Oh, North Korea could sneak this right at the end.
They could indeed, but they have got 5 points to make up in 3 games over Tahiti. It's not going to be easy for them.
Yep, Philippines versus Turkmenistan next.
I think the winner here will get qualification.
Yep.
If there is a winner. If they draw though, they're gonna have to wait another game week.
Yep. Winner qualifies. Draw. Neither of them qualify yet, but they're quite close.
Yep. They basically need snookers to go against them, really.
And then we've got Vanuatu and Singapore. Both teams already out.
Pretty much. Best they can do is dud, I think.
Yep. Singapore with a 3-0 win. So up in the 10th they go.
In a top 10 spot for Singapore. I don't think they'll complain about that too much. Oh, poor Solomon Islands in the start of the 13th game week. They just moved above the teams as well. They got the bye win, didn't they?
Yeah, they just got 3 points, prepared to be demolished. Okay, not as much demolishing as I thought. Oh, Yemen have just qualified.
Unbelievable. Yemen have qualified as they get the 3-point bye win against Fiji.
So at the moment, it's down to Tahiti, Papua New Guinea, and North Korea
Absolute limbs
for that
in the crowd.
7th place spot.
Yep. You got to think probably Tahiti the favourites. They have got a little bit of a gap, but not much.
Yep, it's a 5-point gap, so it is quite big. But then we don't really know who Tahiti are up against. They could get New Zealand, Afghanistan, and Indonesia in the last 3.
It wouldn't be nice, would it, if they did? But they've done well so far. They've done enough to get to this stage of the competition and be in with a chance. And I think that's credit to the New Caledonia team and the fact that we will get one of them or Papua New Guinea through as another Oceania team is great to see.
Yep, Hong Kong, New Zealand. New Zealand looking to retake first place back.
A win for them will put them back at the top of the table.
Yep, and, by the way, no. Turkmenistan and Philippines have not qualified yet, but they're quite close. New Zealand win 8-0, they're back to the top. Oh!
This is it then. This is a big moment for North Korea. They've got to take on Indonesia, who are currently in 3rd place.
Yep, have recently lost a game, though, of Indonesia. Win for Indonesia! That's looking good for Tahiti, not good for North Korea, though.
I will say one thing, though. I think North Korea's last game is going to be Fiji.
Yes, North Korea have not played the dud yet, have they?
No, them and New Zealand haven't played the dud yet, so I think they've got a guaranteed 3 points. So all Tahiti needs is a win, but they know that anyway.
Yep, Maldives now versus Taipei, 2 teams in a bit of a nothing clash.
Yep, in the clash for the wooden spoon at the bottom of the table.
It is a win for Taipei, so they move up to 11th points in 11th. This is a big match for Papua New Guinea.
Oh, if they lose this, the best they can do is dud. If they win this, they can still qualify. It is all to play for Papua New Guinea as they take on Tahiti in 7th place. A win for Tahiti, though, and I think
it's over.
It's over. They've qualified.
Yep, a win for Tahiti and it's all over for North Korea and for Papua New Guinea, and they'll be battling for the dud. Win for Tahiti, which means we have our top 7.
We do indeed. That's the end of that. It's just now all down to who gets the dud spot, and of course, North Korea do have the dud team still to play, so they need to lose their next match, and Papua New Guinea need to win both of them.
Yep, Philippines have got Vanuatu next in a bit of a nothing match, but Philippines, they've only let in 3 goals, Philippines have noticed.
They've been very good defensively, not so much going forward. They haven't scored enough, really, to be
Is that more?
Well, that's better. And they've broken the record, for the competition.
That's record.
Yep.
12-0. Singapore versus Turkmenistan. Again, another bit of a nothing match. But Turkmenistan looking to maybe get some extra points on the board.
Singapore currently in 10th. A win for Singapore does give them a chance to possibly sneaking the dud.
It does give them a chance on the dud, I guess, yeah. 3-0 win for Turkmenistan, though, so staying in the top 5 they go for the moment.
Singapore do still have the chance of getting the dud team, but of course they don't because North Korea still have to play the dud team.
Oh, North Korea has Afghanistan as their other match.
I'll tell you what, it's not over for North Korea because they've got to win this or at least get a point. Otherwise, they are in big trouble, and Papua New Guinea, it's in their own hands then.
Certainly is. 2-0 win for Afghanistan.
And New Zealand will get their win against the dud team as predicted, the penultimate game. So New Zealand will get the 3 points taking on Fiji.
Yep, which means that essentially New Zealand, if they win their last match, they win. They have won the preliminary league.
I do know what the last match is as well. It's New Zealand versus Afghanistan for the title.
Did they not draw against each other earlier?
They've not played yet, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Because I know both teams have...
I've got a draw.
Yeah,
but I don't think they've drew against each other yet. I don't think they've played each other yet.
Fair enough. Well, we'll see. We'll see next fixture.
Yeah, it's all the marbles. All the marbles for this is all down to the final game.
I can't believe North Korea's out. Potential dud at most. But
yeah, they've
slipped.
They've got to make. Yeah, they've dropped too many points. That's that easy.
Yep. They didn't have a good start. They tried to sort of bounce back and just couldn't bounce back enough. Yemen, they got Hong Kong. Hong Kong currently in 12th. Yemen 6th, already through.
Win for Yemen can lift them up to 4th place for now.
Certainly can. It is a 4-0 win for Yemen, so they go back to 4th. Solomon Islands versus Indonesia. Indonesia, no chance of winning the title.
Yeah, they've got nothing really to play for apart from pride of finishing 3rd.
Yep.
Solomon Islands do. They are currently 15 goals clear of Maldives and Vanuatu. That can soon change, though.
Certainly could. That's 10.
Well, Solomon Islands, they're going to be looking over their shoulder now. Turkmenistan versus the Maldives next up.
That's 17! Wow!
A massive win! Where's that been hiding from Turkmenistan? Almost the outright record.
Yep, 17-0. 2 off the outright record there for Turkmenistan against the Maldives. Papua New Guinea have got Vanuatu for a potential chance of being dud this year.
They could overtake North Korea here, but of course they need to win both games. It's all to play for Papua New Guinea.
Win in their first one.
Well, North Korea, how are your nerves?
Yep, Tahiti versus Philippines. Bit of a nothing match here, but, well, Tahiti, look at that goal difference of, like, 7th and 6th.
It's so mad, isn't it?
It is.
Oh!
Only 1-0 as well.
And Taipei versus Singapore for a chance to stay in the top 10 between these two.
Yep, win for Taipei there. Yeah, it is
New
New Zealand, Afghanistan for the championship.
So this is it. A New Zealand win, and they've won. A draw, New Zealand win. Afghanistan win. The title moves back to Afghanistan for the preliminary league.
Cole goes there. Draw between the two. New Zealand win the preliminary league.
And as we know, North Korea now take on Fiji, the final dud team match. So it will mean for now, North Korea move into the top 8 as the dud team.
Yeah, Papua New Guinea, because of North Korea's superior goal difference, Papua New Guinea will need to win their last match.
Correct.
To be to essentially win the dud and to prevent North Korea from being in the global trophy at all.
For the first time in years, I think.
Yeah, for the first time in years, to prevent North Korea from being in the global trophy at all. Papua New Guinea need to win their final match. A draw will not be enough.
So a team that normally you would see in the Global Trophy Asia section because of the quality of the team that they've got, because so many preliminary teams last year qualified, it's not the case this time. It's down to Papua New Guinea can stop them.
Yep, Hong Kong versus the Solomon Islands. Bit of a nothing match, but Solomon Islands looking for at least a potential draw here.
It will mean if they get a point here, they could stay above those teams. A win for Solomon Islands, however, would lift them into 12th place.
Win for Hong Kong!
It's not great for Solomon Islands. Indonesia take on Yemen in a very much a nothing match here.
Yep, Indonesia could solidify 3rd with a draw, at least.
A Yemen win puts them to 4th place.
Certainly would. It is a draw, so Indonesia will finish 3rd.
And Yemen will finish 6th.
Yep. Ooh, Maldives Vanuatu, so Solomon Islands is safe from being bottom.
But they won't be 13th. Who will get unlucky 13th place between these two?
Yep, and look at that goal against for Maldives.
Yeah, oh Jesus. Nice.
Dirty nice. It's not a dirty nice still. It's a drop.
Oh no!
Oh no!
And Solomon Islands dropped to 15.
Oh no!
Papua New Guinea. Oh my goodness, they've got to beat Turkmenistan. That's a massive challenge.
Turkmenistan, a win or a draw for them, or even a small loss, could keep them in 4th. Papua New Guinea need to win this to be the dud.
They do indeed.
They don't. North Korea are the dud.
Oh, North Korea. They left it too late to get back in, but they have got a dud spot. But, Papua New Guinea. Oh, no.
So close for them. Chinese Taipei versus the Philippines now. Philippines currently in 5th place. A big win for them could solidify them 4th.
Be a massive win though against Chinese Taipei.
Yep, lowest goals against in the league. Stays there, 3-0, so they stay in 5th. For now, Yemen have also played the game, so yeah, they actually do just stay in 5th.
This is an absolute nothing match. The only thing that can make a difference here, if Singapore win, they can go above Chinese Taipei and finish in the top 10.
Yep, a win for Tahiti at least gets them closer to Yemen. It is a draw between the two, so that is how it ends.
Well, well, well. Down in 15th place. Oh, heartbreak at the death for the Solomon Islands, who did get a non-bye team win.
Yep, and draw as well.
Yep, they did. They got 7 points on the board. A reasonable effort from the Solomon Islands.
Yep, 14th place with 8 is Maldives.
They've got 2 draws.
Yep, and a win.
And a win, yeah.
Yep, but then got absolutely whomped 17-0 by Turkmenistan. Where the hell did that come from?
Where was that come from Turkmenistan? That was nuts.
Yep, 13th place with 8, Vanuatu.
Yeah, also got a win and 2 draws, other than the dud team. But 13th place for them. Well done.
Yep, much better goal difference for them. 12th with 13, Hong Kong.
Yep, 4 wins in total. 3 non-dud team wins and 1 draw. Too many defeats, though.
Yep, 11th place with 13, Singapore.
I think a reasonable effort from Singapore, that.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good.
I'd say so. 8 draws, or, sorry, 8 losses, but then if you look at it, six matches they didn't lose that weren't dud.
Yep, well done to them.
10th place with 14, Chinese Taipei.
Yep, 3 non-bye wins and of course 2 draws as well. Didn't score enough. They only scored 12. They conceded 27, which actually is pretty decent, to be honest with you, for Taipei. But yeah, unfortunate for them. They're out of this competition.
Definitely a decent performance there for Chinese Taipei. 9th place, we were rooting for you. 19 points, Papua New Guinea.
They were in that top 8 for so long, and they just in the last game week dropped out. But won't get a dud spot. So there will only be 2 Oceania teams in the competition this year, which is a shame. We'd love to see the little guys, try their best and ultimately fail, but they try their best.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the end of Papua New Guinea this year.
8th place, our dud team with 20 points, North Korea.
That's a shocker for me. That is a big shocker for me. I expected them to do better. I think they just left it too late.
Yep, the 2 teams that came down from the qualifiers, they usually qualify every year. One of them finished champion, the other one is our dud team. Shocker.
Yep. So they may run the risk of being back there next year.
Never know. Next up, 7th place with 26, comfortably in 7th place, is New Caledonia being represented by Tahiti.
So I told a lie. There is going to be another Oceania team other than New Zealand and Australia, and it is Tahiti. Well done to Tahiti. Did a fantastic job throughout the competition and put enough points on the board. 8 wins is a decent run. So fair play to them.
It certainly is. 6th place. Now we get to the teams that qualified a long time ago. 6th place with 31 is Yemen.
Good effort from Yemen. 31 points on the board. We're never really in trouble, were they?
Nope, not really, I'd say, especially for these top 6. 5th place with 34, Philippines.
Same story, really, as well. Them and Turkmenistan, really. They were kind of never really in danger. Philippines only conceded 3 goals. A very impressive defensive performance, just didn't score enough to kind of challenge the top teams this time.
Too many board draws as well on that, but a very good performance, I think, from the Philippines this year, especially defensively.
Yeah, agreed.
4th place with 34, Turkmenistan.
Of course, that monster 17-0 win over Maldives, which is currently the record. I wonder if that'll maintain over the course of the next few weeks and months. Going to be a difficult team to beat, aren't they, in the Asia section?
It certainly is. 1 point above them in 3rd place is Indonesia with 35.
Yep, the former Asian section champions back in 2007. Didn't win the Asia Section Preliminary League, though. This is a bit of a surprise to me. Fallen quite far down in 3rd place. 2 losses and 2 draws. Work to do for Indonesia.
2nd place with 39, Afghanistan.
An unbeaten run to 2nd. It's rare that Afghanistan don't win this if Malaysia aren't here, really. And obviously Malaysia aren't here, but they didn't win it anyway because the team at the top won. But big wins, lots of goals. interested to see how they get on in the main Asia section.
Yep, and the winners of the Asian and Oceania Preliminary League this year with 41 points, only dropping 4 points throughout their campaign here, New Zealand.
Yeah, and I believe this is the first ever time an Oceania team other than Australia has won a trophy.
Yeah.
Because they win the Preliminary League trophy. Good for you, New Zealand. You did it.
Yep, so New Zealand winning the Preliminary League of Asia Oceania, of course. In a month's time, we will have the Asia Oceania qualifiers proper. But next week, we have the African preliminaries. And oh, have we got a special for you. We have our favourite dud team back, folks. Apart from England, I guess. England's usually our favourite dud team. But we have the Big R returns.
Absolutely. We love to see it. Miranda will be back for 15 games. So we can't wait to see that next week.
Yep, so don't worry. Next week, going to be the greatest of them all, because we got the Big R as our dud. So, you know, that's what we love to see. But anyway, guys, that is it from week 3. But when it comes to competition, week 2 of 9 of the 20th annual Global Trophy, the 2024 Global Trophy Tournament. New Zealand with a very close but very good win in the Preliminary League. So be interested to see how they do against, you know, the Asian champions Japan, you know, serial Asian champions Australia and Saudi Arabia. Gonna be interesting there. But anyway, I've been Masterath.
I've been Sven-Göran 64.
And we will see you next week for the African preliminaries. Halfway through the preliminaries we are now. Just 2 more to go. We'll see you next week.